With the coming of fall and everyone's favorite spooky holiday officially on the radar, the writer's journey brings you another live editing extravaganza. What's the difference? We have on the chopping block Keystroke's very own Josh Hayes, Scott Moon, and Ken Britz, and back, by popular demand, a few writing bloopers. So grab your Keystroke coffee and get comfy because we are going live right now.
Boom!
Campbell and Kayleen Williams, welcome back to the show.
Hey, Lauren.
Hi. How's fall going for everyone? It's in the 50s today in Delaware, and I brought out my sweater.
His sweater.
I
am freezing.
Sweater.
Freezing. It's in my bones. I'm so cold.
I'm in Alabama. I think it's currently like 85 degrees with 90% humidity.
85?
Something like that.
Let's go down to Huntsville.
No, the humidity will kill you.
But it sounds incredible.
And it sounds like it'll reach my bones and warm me up.
Yes, that's what we need.
I just don't want to. You're welcome to come. I just don't want to hear you bitching about the weather when you get here.
Okay. All right, deal. Let's do it. Okay. All right. But first, before we do, we are going to cut into some manuscripts written by our friends. So this will be friendly live cutting.
Friendly live cutting.
And who's up first, Ellen?
We're going to do Ken Britz first because Ken very kindly always responds when I need help. When you guys are slow to send me your samples or afraid of me or whatever your deal is, So we're going to do Ken. He gets to be first.
All right, Ken.
Okay, so we're going to share the screen.
The lovely mellifluous voice of Kayleen
Everybody
Williams.
close your eyes for a second.
Yeah, we're about to see the screens of doom.
Okay. You got it?
No.
I was waiting for it to pop up. Boom, 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 boom.
Ken's here in the audience, declaring...
Yeah, not afraid.
Not afraid. No way.
Boom. Now?
Gotta love technology. Here we go.
Yes.
And make it way big.
Bigger?
Okay.
Bigger.
Much better.
There we go.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
Yes. Okay. I'm just going to jump right in, and Ellen's going to do her thing. And then someone tell me to stop reading when I need to stop reading.
Okay. No, read all of it.
Okay. A painful slap woke Bianca. Jesus, man, I'm awake already, she mumbled. The dream of 100 voices speaking to her faded, replaced with a buzzing headache. Get up, Bea, Mindy hissed. Bianca groaned and opened her eyes to stare into the face of a devil. She inhaled to scream, but the devil clamped a hand on her mouth. She still screamed, muffled by the big blue hand. Blue? Blue runes glowed along her arms, all the light Bianca could see. Shut up! Bianca stopped. That was Mindy's voice. The scarlet face wasn't a devil, and it had Mindy's features beneath strands of glinting black braids. Done screaming? The devil woman said. Bianca nodded, and the hand left her mouth. Mindy? Yes. Mindy grabbed her collar and started dragging her along the ground. What the hell are you doing? Saving your life, dumbass, Mindy said, powerful legs driving her through the dust and dirt. Bianca saw the decayed archway above her. Let go. Let me get up. Mindy let go, and Bianca's head slammed into the ground. Good. Now come on, we have to get off the street. Ow. Mindy yanked Bianca to her feet. Heal your boo-boo later. Come on. Mindy grabbed Bianca's hand and hauled her down the street at a run. Bianca held on, stumbling until she hit her stride. They passed building after building, running through dark and deserted streets. The sky was black, without moon or starlight. Where are we going? Bianca said. Something darted from the shadows in front of them, hunched in the darkness. Cold, unholy light glinted from deep eye sockets. Shitpots! Mindy skidded to a halt. With movements based on reflexes, Bianca raised her bow and whispered prayers. 3 sizzling red gold arrows punched into the creature, slamming it backwards into the dirt. It twitched once and lay still, the gleam in its eyes snuffed out. How? Never mind. Mindy grabbed Bianca's free hand, and they continued on through the dark streets. A howl shivered Bianca to the bone. What the hell was? Bianca began. Hey! Oh, needs to be a deeper one. Hey! Kevin's deep bass rang out like a gong. Hisses and howls answered in reply, sending ice down Bianca's spine, and her alertness shot into hyperactive range. It was somewhere ahead and above them. Found her, Mindy said. Great. Get the hell up here, Flynn yelled. The men were on the roof atop a single-story building. Mindy ran to the wall and jumped. Kevin and Flynn grabbed her by both arms and hauled her up. Bianca spun around to see a ghastly gray shape emerge from an alley. It sniffed the air, pivoting to face her. She threw up her arms to the trio. Help! Flynn and Mindy grabbed her arms, and she fairly flew upwards to a light on the rooftop. I can't believe you found her, Flynn said. The creature below raced toward them. What the hell is that? Ghoul, Kevin said, or ghast. I always get them mixed up. It's hard to tell in this darkness. Undead? Yes. Have you seen Rachel? The planes of Kevin's face gleamed with sweat. To Bianca, he looked the same, though his skin had a strange cast in the dark. She shook her head. No, I haven't, Kev. The ghoul scrabbled at the wall, trying to climb up. How did you find her? Flynn said, leaning on a tall spear. Mindy shrugged, panting. I found her in an old inn near the bar. She shook her black braids that clicked. Beads? You should have seen her. She summoned her bow and blasted a hole into a goal on sight. Wait, how long have you been in the game? Oh, that's Bianca. Wait, how long have you been in the game? Bianca said. Not long, maybe 30 minutes, Flynn said, and Kevin shrugged. Hard to know without a way to tell time. The ghoul howled. A dozen creatures howled in response. They move in packs, Kevin said, stroking his beard. This won't be a good place to stay if these things climb over one another to get to us, Flynn said. We need to get to higher ground or something defensible. Why don't we fight them? Bianca said, touching her Primus rune without realizing it. The curve appeared in her hand, gleaming a silvery blue in the darkness. How the hell did you figure that out? Mindy said. I don't know, Bianca said, and meant it. How had she known to do that? She ignored the nagging questions and drew back the bowstring, whispering the prayers she knew by rote. Her mind went to that place of warmth, of love, of memory, to thoughts of her sister Naomi. Something within opened and power bloomed, flowing to her fingertips. I have no idea how to say this. The prayer row of harm appeared between her fingertips, an angry red gold. She released, and it snapped the ghoul's head back. It fell to the ground, its howl of hunger changing to a squeal of pain. More ghouls appeared in the street. Interesting, Kevin said, staring at his own hands. Interesting my ass, she's a prodigy, Mindy said. Teach me, O mistress. Piss off, Bianca said, loosing another arrow. There are a lot of them. Kevin, Mindy, will help? Mindy and Kevin exchanged looks. We don't know how to make our magic work. Men, light these assholes up with your firepower, boom shakalaka and all that. She loosed 2 more arrows, 2 more ghouls down, but more flowed from the streets. And scene!
Ooh.
That's really pretty good, Ken. I would do. There's a couple of little here and there's, and I didn't do this while you were reading because there's no way to follow that far ahead if you're trying to read it and watching the editing. If that makes any sense.
Okay. No worries. I kept my head down and just kept reading.
Yeah. Okay, Bianca groaned and opened her eyes. I don't like to stare here.
I cut so many of those out of so many manuscripts. It's ridiculous.
This too, but she inhaled the scream. I'm letting you keep it because how about she...
So instead of she inhaled a breath, or what was it? I don't even know. But she drew a breath to scream. It just it flows a little better. It's not quite as sticky. Doesn't sound quite so heavy.
Yeah.
Kind of sets you up for the next line where she's basically being muffled,
Right.
stifled, and it makes you feel like, you can feel that she can't breathe. There's a devil,
It adds that pause without saying that there's any kind of like pause.
Okay, you can have strands where we're up to the scarlet face wasn't a devil and it had Mindy's features beneath strands of glinting black braids. You can have glinting black braids or you can have strands, but you can't have both because the braids are the strands. You see what I'm saying?
It's redundant.
See how much cleaner that is?
Nice.
Okay, done screaming. Blah, blah, blah.
Also, we've got a lot of color cues here. The blue, red, scarlet, black.
It could be worse.
I kind of like it because it's visual.
Yeah.
And also, I'm starting to, this is urban fantasy, perhaps. Color might be significant. We're trying to figure out what the races are and stuff, and like who's in the story, like which races are in the story, and colors might be a clue for that.
I'm thinking this might be a gamelet because they're towards the end. It's like they're in a virtual reality type thing and they're trapped.
Oh yeah.
They can't get out and they don't know how to use any of their powers because there's no screens.
Interesting. Yeah, Corey Gillum in the chat, by the way, wanted to offer condolences to Ken's family. With Ken's book up on the chopping block first.
And one change Ellen just did, instead of yes, Mindy grabbed her collar, say Mindy grabbed Bianca's collar. A lot of times the character's name, it helps solidify what's happening. So because they're both female. This is something I notice a lot. It's like there's a lot of she's and hers running around, and you easily lose track of who the her and the she is belonging to. So anytime that you can make it definitive,
that's what I'm trying to do.
Will just really help.
Although I like it better with it in. Okay, so Mindy grabbed Bianca's collar and started dragging her along the ground. What the hell are you doing? Saving your life, dumbass, Mindy said, powerful legs driving her through the dust and dirt. Bianca saw the decayed archway above her. Okay. That's a big old filter right there.
Yeah.
And you haven't, unless you've already done it, in which case I apologize, but in the context of what we're doing here, you haven't defined the archway. It can't be the archway. It can be an archway, but it can't be the archway. And what did this actually add? Here, Bianca saw the decayed archway above her.
And for folks new to the show, what is filtering again?
What is filtering? Okay, so we're just going to pop that out.
So yeah, the filtering Bianca saw. Well, now we're no longer seeing, only Bianca saw, and it's putting this wall between us and that action that's happening. So rather than the looming archway above her, so it's like now it's looming above us as well. It's not just Bianca saw the looming archway. So cutting out those saws, those feels.
Yeah. The walls that you're telling me what she's feeling instead of letting me feel what she's feeling.
Yeah.
Okay. Mindy let go and Bianca's head slammed into the ground. I love that. That's amazing. That's good writing right there. Good. Come on. We have to get off the street. Ow. Mindy yanked Bianca to her feet. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I giggled inside. I giggled inside at heal your boo-boo. I like that.
Later. But there's a whole lot of hand grabbing and collar grabbing, and I mean, all over the place. I kind of want to lose some of that. Mindy yanked Bianca to her feet. That's great. Heal your boo-boo later. Come on. Mindy hauled her. If we grabbed Bianca's hand, Mindy hauled her down the street at a run.
Yeah, because she's already grabbing her. She yanked Bianca to her feet. Hands are already on her. We're already imagining that grab, and then immediately Mindy hauled.
Bianca held on, stumbling until she hit her stride. They passed building after building, running through dark and deserted streets. The building after building is kind of overkill. I mean, I get you trying to put some distance there, but I don't know. It just feels like too much of not interesting.
buildings flew past as they ran down the dark street. I don't want an as, but just off the top of my head, something other than.
Let's try that. Let's try this. Oops.
Yeah, there you go. Blurred. Yes.
There we go. How do we like that?
I do.
Yeah,
and he's not as heavy, so that's okay.
the English teacher wanted to say we have an introductory phrase and then a subject right after it, or a noun right after it. But I think in this case it works. Running through dark and deserted streets, comma, buildings blurring as they passed.
Right.
So, well, the they is there, so we can see it. I think that sentence is clear, and to me, it has a lot of action in it. So it might not be like as technically correct, but this is one of those cases where I think style kind of trumps like precision, like grammatical precision in this case.
And Kit actually brings up a good question. What type of buildings? So you could do tall buildings, buildings of various size, if you want to be that specific, if you need to be, especially when we do get to Flynn and the other dude. You could also put height on how far up they are if you want that. Strange buildings. There you go.
Sky was black without moon or starlight. Okay, where are we going? Bianca said. Something blah, blah. Darted from the shadows in front of them, hunched in the darkness. Cold, unholy light glinted from two deep eye sockets. Not bad. Shit pops. That's the only thing that I wrote during the original reading of this. I'm totally stealing this. Into a halt is good. Okay, with movements based on reflexes is a little cumbersome.
Reflexively?
Reflexively. What if we do that? You can put reflexively here after bow, or you can put reflexively in front of it.
Or on instinct.
Yeah, you could do, instinctively, Bianca raised her bow, reflexively, whispered prayer.
I would make that a prayer instead of whispered prayers.
Yeah.
It just, I mean, how long is she standing there whispering to make it multiple prayers? Sending it backward to the dirt. Snuffed out.
And
Okay.
Josh Hayes arrives only 23 minutes late.
Josh is here? Wow. Oh, never mind.
And ready for his cutting.
Yeah, we'll do you next, Joshy. Mindy grabbed Bianca's free hand. See, here's more hand grabbing. So how are we gonna edit our way out of all this hand grabbing? Mindy grabbed Bianca.
Oh, never mind. I mean, she could even just like Mindy shoved Bianca forward and they continued on through the dark streets.
I was thinking the same thing.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. And they continued.
More urgency.
Okay. You have to say continued on. It's kind of redundant.
Yeah.
Continued through the dark streets. Okay, now this is terrible. A howl shivered Bianca to the bone. A howl did not shiver anything. Howls don't shiver. Okay. I don't like that. Okay, my thought process isn't very clear here.
This is one of those ones that I sit back and I stare at for a little bit.
Yeah. Howl chilled Bianca to the bone.
Mm.
How do we like that? No?
No, that's good.
Oh,
Yeah, I was thinking like a howl echoed down the street, howl rent the silence, a howl, what else can a howl do? But
Yeah.
I do like the chilled, but maybe it's because it's, we're getting cold too.
I am, yeah.
Okay, right here, Kevin's deep bass rung out like a gong. Okay, it's somewhat twisted and kind of contradictory. A deep bass doesn't ring out like a gong. I mean, you see where I'm objecting?
Yeah, because ringing is definitely a higher.
Yeah.
And a gong, it's not necessarily. There, I guess it depends
Deep
on
bass
the gong.
bellowed,
Yeah, bellowed would work.
but it's a hey.
Then you're gonna lose gong.
Gong, yeah.
Yeah.
Rumbled.
It's rumbling a hay.
And howls answered in reply, sending ice down Bianca's spine.
Just,
Okay, so that's why we can't use chilled.
Yeah. I was gonna say about the gong too. What was it? Oh, damn it! Now I lost it. Anyway, continue. I'll think of it and I'll shout it at you.
Ken says he's just one of those big old temple bells, the kind you hit with a log. And they do go boom.
Punctured. Was that it?
Punctured? Wait, what? Now I'm lost.
Well, for the gong thing, because I've heard a gong before, and they have this punch. They have this punch in this like vibrato that just like, it hangs in the air, just like this. And so I'm trying to think what would be descriptive that could mimic that, like punctured or
Thrummed?
Reverberated, like a gong. That would still be a gong. Reverberated like a gong. If you want to keep the gong, is all I'm saying.
I didn't especially.
Okay.
Okay. Right here, we've got hisses and howls answered in reply, sending ice down Bianca's spine, and her alertness shot into hyperactive range. I don't like that. Her alertness shot into hyperactive range. How about...
Kit asked if hisses and howls answered and replied is a bit redundant. Oh, because answered and replied
Answered is a reply. Yeah.
Yeah. So hisses and howls replied.
See, I hated the other one so much I just passed right over that. And I didn't notice that the first time through.
Good job, Kit. Thank you.
Okay, so now it reads, hisses and howls answered, sending ice down Bianca's spine.
Mm-hmm.
Then we should, the period there.
Shintons.
Already alert, her awareness shot into hyperactive range.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Okay, I'm going to take this. He was somewhere ahead and above them because we've introduced a whole bunch of other stuff in between what's going on here. I'm going to cut that there. Stick it in there. So now it reads, hey, Kevin's deep bass reverberated in the darkness. He was somewhere ahead and above, ahead of. Right? No.
Yeah, so that right there, when I highlight those, it's what I call oh by the ways. So Kevin's spoken, there's hisses and howls, how Bianca respikes to it. Oh, by the way, Kevin is somewhere ahead and above them.
Yeah.
So that's when I shift things, up or down just to get it back in mind.
Yeah, to keep everything in proper perspective. Okay, founder, Mindy said. Great, now get the hell up here, Flynn yelled. The men were on the roof. A single-story building. And he ran to the wall and jumped. Kevin and Flynn grabbed her by both arms and hauled her up. Okay, I mean...
That one's hard to kind of scrub out just because it's...
Well, it's not. I just don't... Kevin and Flynn grabbed
her. It's another grab.
Kevin and Flynn each caught an arm.
Yeah, we're really trying to scrub out as many grabs because there's just a lot of grabs.
There's a lot of grabs.
Finding new ways to kind of mix that up.
Bianca spun around to see a ghastly gray shape. How about ghastly gray shape emerged? Oops.
Ken. Grab is my go-to. You're never allowed to grab
everybody
again.
else, buddy. She threw her arms up to the trio. Not my favorite, but it's okay.
And I like what Ellen did there, because that's Bianca spun around to see. Not only is she turning, she's also seeing. You just cut that out, get right to the chase, and we see her spin if we want to, because we're within that realm in this alley with her and this creature emerging.
See, here's another grab. Flynn and Mindy.
I wish I was on my other computer, then I could figure out just how many grabs are within just this one bit.
Barely flew upwards to a light on the rooftop. Barely flew.
When I read that, I wasn't sure what was happening. I'm like, wait. Did she throw herself up? Are they grabbing her and yanking her to have her fly? I don't know what's going on.
On. Okay. How do we like that?
Much better. Flynn and Mindy leaned down to help, comma, and Bianca fairly flew, comma, alighting on the rooftop.
Or landing lightly would be.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Alighting's a great word, but landing lightly, I like that. And yes, sometimes we do use adverbs.
It's all about the tongue.
Okay, you just can't abuse them.
Yes.
The creature below raced toward them. Well, I would just eliminate that, because you're just like, it's like a bookmark. It's like a slap in the face. Okay, look, this is what I want you to be looking at now. But it just, I mean, the creature below raced toward them. He was already menacing Bianca. So racing toward them from where?
And if you leave them that in, you definitely need to separate out those two sentences and put "what the hell is that" on the next line, because otherwise it looks like the creature shouting that up to them.
Yeah.
When we're talking about the creature below.
Another thing on that particular kind of description. So you're building this tension, and you're building this like, oh crap, are they going to be able to make it out of it? And ooh, it's still running towards them. It completely cuts the tension, because we're being reminded of something we're already seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like that one where it's, where you had coming out of the alleyway, sniffing the air, pivoting to face her. It just cuts the tension.
We could stick it in this tag here. I can't believe you found her, Flynn said, comma, then pointed to something racing along the ground, or some.
But it's not necessary.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But if you wanted to, that could be one place to put it in.
Racing is one of those words that I don't know if it's on my list yet, but it ought to be. We'll do that when we're done here.
Also, slowly. If I see another slowly, I just am going to cut it entirely.
It's on the list. Okay. And I deleted this darkness in favor of the dark. And then, yes. Have you seen Rachel? I like this. The planes of Kevin's face gleamed with sweat. That's good. That's really good. To Bianca, he looked the same, though his skin had a strange cast in the dark. Okay. I'm assuming that I mean, obviously that refers back to something else, so we're going to let that stay.
I also like that reflections kind of stuck into the story.
Okay, the ghoul scrabbled at the wall trying to climb up. How did you find her? Okay. There's a place in here where you've got said, and it's not right here, but we're going to do this. Leaning on a tall spear. That's just so odd as to be almost silly right there. I mean, that's just so not.
I mean, it's his weapon, but where did it come from?
Yeah.
It's just he's just suddenly in his hands. You know, he was just grabbing. Like, was he always holding the spear?
Yeah.
Like he could have, you know, used the spear to, you know, have her grab and throw her up onto the roof.
Mindy shrugged, panting. I didn't like this either. Gasping maybe, but I would just. Shrugging is a nonchalant thing to do, and panting is very labor intensive, and it's hard to do both of them at the same time.
Maybe like gasping for breath. No, that's worse. Mindy shrugged.
I would almost just cut that completely, start the dialogue, and I found her in an old inn near the bar. She gasped, shaking her black braids that clicked.
Put it somewhere else.
Or something like that.
This whole sentence has got to go. It's got to be.
Yeah. But like I would almost put it like after, just.
Ta-da. How's that?
Yeah, I like that.
Her braids clicked as she shook her head. Beads?
She summoned her bow and blasted a hole into a ghoul on sight. Blah, blah, blah. Bianca said. Flynn said. Kevin shrugged. Or something defensible. This all looks okay to me. You guys see anything that?
Well, this is where the said party's happening.
Yeah.
I noticed that too on the first reading. And there is debate about tags. But the main thing is the tags shouldn't draw attention to themselves. So however that sounds best to you and your editor or your beta readers, whatever you got.
Yeah, it's a little. There's wiggle room in there.
Yeah, I mean, without using non-standard tags that people find offensive. I mean, you can also use asked and replied and
yeah, told
yeah,
or
like,
even taken out, not have it if you can get away with it.
And then in the opposite of what I said earlier, they move in packs. Kevin said, stroking his beard. You could also do Kevin stroked his beard. They move in packs. You know, then you don't have a said, but we know it's Kevin speaking. Is an option.
Says, I use simple tags, I get dinged. I put in variety, I get dinged. Yes, we feel ya.
I think each other would be more colloquial in this particular case.
This won't be a good place to stay if these things climb over each other to get to. Yeah, I like that better.
Inside we need to get higher ground or something defensible. Okay, we'll do an asked right here. Okay. I do not know why this is a proper noun. So I'm just going to
It might be it might be kind of like a sigil, something that's has to do with like her magic.
But because we don't know, in almost any case, it shouldn't be. So I'm going to throw that there. Ken, that's what that question mark is. Why did you make that a proper noun? Okay, we changed another said to replied, ignored the nagging questions and drew back the bowstring, whispering the prayer she knew by rote. She didn't know it by rote. She whispered it by rote. So we can take out the new because that's another filter. Don't tell me what she knows. Show me. If she's whispering the prayer by rote, then obviously she knows it, right?
Yeah, so that's the simple way to rip out a tell, and it immediately becomes a show.
Yeah, and plus it was wrong.
It's the name of her bow. So it's what she named her bow.
Okay, fair enough. See,
I knew it had something to do with her power.
Memory to thoughts of her sister Naomi. Okay, I just moved a within. I hate within, but I let you keep it. I just moved it. And power bloomed, flowing to her fingertips. Okay.
It's okay, Ken. It's okay that you missed that filter, because that's what we're here for. To pick up all the things that you no longer see because you've read it 10,000 times.
Okay, and it snapped the ghoul's head back. How about...
What else? Let's see. Drop to the ground. Howls of hunger. Reduced to a squeal of pain.
No, because that's not a reduction.
No? Okay.
No.
True.
It would be an escalation, if anything. Okay, so...
Oh, escalated too, yeah.
Okay, it dropped to the ground, its howl of hunger becoming a squeal of pain. More ghouls appeared in the street. Why is Kevin staring at his own... Oh, gotcha, okay. Okay, interesting. My ass, she's a prodigy. Teach me, oh mistress. I would look that one up, but I'm going to let you keep it. Yeah, I'm going to let you keep it because it's right. Piss off, Bianca said, loosing another arrow. Very good. There are a lot of them. Kevin, Mindy, little help. Exchanged a look. We don't know how to make our magic work. Then light these assholes up with your firepower. Firepower is a compound word. Boom shakalaka. Boom shaka. Whatever.
Yeah, it's good. Boom shakalaka. Yeah. Boom shakalaka.
All right. See, that was practically painless, Ken. Whoops.
Boom shakalaka, Ken.
Yay.
There you go.
All right, so
Thank
let's just see how badly we hurt you.
What were the total?
92 revisions.
Very nice.
In how many words was that? Because I don't have that on my end.
861.
That's not bad, actually.
Well, it's 861 now. I think it was 899 when
That's not bad.
we started. Yeah.
It's a good ratio. That's not a whole lot of bleeding, and it's a lot cleaner, tighter. All those good things.
Oh.
Screens of endless doom.
Screens
All
of
right.
endless doom.
Who's up next? You said Josh. Right?
Oh, Joshua. Are we going to do Joshua? Is he still waiting around? Is he?
Josh.
Josh.
Well, he better be, because that's what I'm pulling up. Let's see. L-E-H, right?
L-E-H, correct.
L-E-H.
All right. We're going to go back to screen sharing.
Okay, so I'm going to start reading while Ellen is getting up her screenness and all that good stuff. Ken Briggs, I have a transfusion ready if you feel the need. All right. From our very own Josh Hayes. Here we go. Sweets finished his search of the driver's compartment, ignoring... Yeah, stop it, word. Ignoring the alien's complaints as he moved to the back of the truck. The cargo bed was secured by a hatch on the rear of the truck. It's locked, Sweets said. He turned to the driver. Open this. I don't recognize your authority here, Republic scum. Cal-horned thief is all you are. You won't steal from me. I have a family to feed. Look, you don't have a choice here, Sweets said. You're going to open this hatch, or I'm going to open it for you. And then I just might confiscate everything you've got. No? Okay. Sweet stepped back to the hatch and grabbed the handle. The Gastori screamed, pulling away from his two liege minders, and jumped onto Sweets' back, wrapping his arm around the legionnaire's neck. Sweets spun away as the Gastori pounded on his bucket, legs flaying wildly. Corse and Soretti moved in to help him, but couldn't get close enough to get hands on the alien. In any other situation, the scene would have been hilarious, and Lankin found himself grinning despite himself. Sweets finally managed to get hold of one of Gastori's arms and pulled him off his back, flipping him over his shoulder. The alien landed on his back, the impact cutting off his angry shouts. "Stay down," Sweet shouted, stepping away. "You're under arrest." The alien scrambled to his feet and spit in Sweet's face, the spittle landing harmlessly on the liege's visor. Sweet lurched forward, grabbing the Gastori by the throat, shoving him back against the truck. "You'd better just calm the hell down right now," Sweets told him, pushing his bucket to within mere inches of the alien's face. "I could kill you for that." "Sweets," Lincoln said, wanting to break the cycle before something really bad happened. The Legionnaire ignored him. The Gastori's hands clawed at Sweets' gloves, coughing and gasping for air. "All I have to do is squeeze just a little harder. You're done. You know that? I don't want to be on the Oba-forsaken planet any more than you want me to be here, but neither of us have a choice." Lincoln cringed as his Elcom's command channel buzzed, and Lieutenant Duvall's ID tag appeared on his HUD. His gaze darted to the sky above the checkpoint and found the TT-16 circling above. "What is going on down there, Sergeant Lankin?" "Hell spawned, big brother," Lincoln thought. "Nothing, sir. We have it under control." "Under control? It doesn't appear as though you have anything under control, Sergeant. You need to get a hold of your man and stop him from escalating the situation any more than he already has. I want to see his name on a report by the end of the day." "Sir, the Gastori, Sergeant. We are the elite, are we not?" Lincoln ground his teeth before answering. "Yes, sir. That's right. And as such, we will not let our emotions or actions be decided for us by the people we are here to protect. Now order your man to release that driver, or I will have reprimands ready for both of you to sign when you return to base." Angry shouts from the crowd of onlookers drew Lincoln's attention. The number of spectators had doubled, and now 20 of them were gathered, pointing and waving fists, with more coming up from further down the line. "This is going to get bad. Sweet, stand down." The Legionnaire turned his bucket in Lincoln's direction, as if searching Lincoln's hideout. He didn't immediately release the Gastori, holding him for another few moments before finally relenting and allowing the alien to drop to the ground. The driver kicked his legs against the ground to move away, grabbing his throat and coughing as air flowed back into his lungs. Sweets paid no attention to the gasping Indig, turning back to the locked transport compartment. Bring me a cutting torch." The alien muttered a string of raspy local curses, but didn't re-engage. Instead, he backed even further away from the Legionnaire, eyes filled with hatred and rage. A second later, Sweets had the torch lit and was stepping toward the hatch. The Gastori continued to back away from his truck, no longer shouting complaints or curses. Through his optical scope, Lincoln saw what he interpreted as cold determination on the alien's face. Something had changed about the driver's demeanor, something that made the hair on the back of Lincoln's neck stand up. Whether he got the same sensation or had his own reasons, Lieutenant Duvall likewise didn't like what he saw. "Sergeant, have the corporal stand down. We aren't going to be destroying any property today." Lincoln kept his sights on the Gastori as he continued to move away. "Stand by, sir." He changed comm channels with a flick of his tongue. "Sweets, eyes up. Your driver is..." Lieutenant Duvall cut him off, breaking into the squad comm. "Sergeant Lincoln, my orders are to stand down. We are not destroying any property."
That's my fault.
Okay, Lincoln said, I'm watching you now. Okay. Following the Gastori with his optics, the alien ducked between two vehicles. Well, no. Okay, no, Lincoln didn't say that. Duvall said that. Duvall cut him off. Okay. Lincoln followed the Gastori with his optics. The alien ducked between two vehicles, looking over his shoulder at the Legionnaires behind him. Both men broke off from the rest of the team, each taking one side of the road, jogging back along the column of vehicles. Name. Oh, he hasn't named him yet.
Oh, sorry.
On the near side, kept his N4 close to his chest as he moved, barrel pointing at the ground, bucket turning back and forth, searching. "I don't see him, Sarge," Soretti said. "He's two vehicles up on your left." "Oh. Man, Josh, you sent something rough for making me work for it, dude." "Okay, I don't see him, Sarge, Soretti said. He's 2 vehicles up on your left, Lincoln told him over Elcom. The Gastori crouched down, vanishing briefly behind a group of bystanders, then reappearing again a moment later, still watching approaching legionnaires. He's definitely worried about something. How am I supposed to read this? In his scope, Lincoln watched as the Gastori turned and broke into a jog, moving down the line of parked vehicles, ducking between other aliens and vehicles. Every few steps, he checked over his shoulder, obviously watching for pursuers. His hands disappeared inside his loose tunic. Oh no, Lincoln thought. He keyed his rifle, locking the man's target signature into the optics linked with his HUD. Blood pounded in Lincoln's ears as he realized he might actually have to take the shot. 207 meters. Child's play. Still, this wasn't a computerized target on the range. This was an actual flesh and blood being. The Gastori ducked behind a flatbed transport. The truck's repulsor pads making the air shimmer and kicking up small bits of dust. He took a knee at the rear of the truck and pulled something out from underneath his tunic. It gleamed in the sunlight, and Lincoln's heart skipped a beat. He was already moving. Stepping from behind the transport, he slid between 2 onlookers and raised his hands, an old-fashioned slug thrower held in his green, scaled fingers. Lincoln didn't think twice. Crap, dude!
Okay.
Ooh, that end was rough.
Well, in Josh's defense, about 4 people had their hands on it at that point, and I took it all the way back to nothing. So this is not what went into what was. This is not what eventually was published.
So you call those artifacts, don't you?
Yes,
When
artifacts of editing.
Editing done, and sometimes that leaves maybe 2 spaces there, or or
sometimes there's extra enter you don't realize.
Right.
So that's why I like to do round 2s to like scrub my own artifacts that I know are probably going to be there. I try not to make any, but
proofreading software can help that, or a proofreader going through can.
I'm going to start by deleting some of these as's.
Yeah, so like I said on Ken's, like that as that you had put in on his, and it's like, I don't hate it because he's not as happy. So some people do get really as happy, you know, as yes. He, as this, as they.
So did anyone in the audience recognize that Kellhorned, Oba, Legionnaire references?
I do.
Yay! This is indeed a Galaxy's Edge book. In fact, it's an early version of Josh's Strikers War.
Okay, so I am all the way down to you won't steal from me. I have a family to feed, which isn't logical, but that's okay. Dialogue doesn't have to be logical. This sounds just like a cop. I wonder why. You're going to open this hatch, or I'm going to open it for you, and then I just might confiscate everything you've got. No? Okay. He's already at the hatch, so he didn't step back to the hatch. Okay. We're going to take steps back to the hatch out, and I'm going to let you have, hang on. Three times in 5 pages.
Grabbed.
So you get 1. You get the 1.
You get the 1 handle.
Pulling away from his 2 liege minders. You can take out the 2. I'm going to create a paragraph there. And also take out that artifact of editing that I just caused. Okay, Sweets grabbed the handle. Stream pulling away from his liege minders. I think we can take liege out here. Or we can leave it in. It doesn't really matter.
I don't know if just minders would work.
Okay, wrapping his arms around.
Josh says he's very handsy.
I take issue with referring to the same people with 40 different ways in the same sentence, because it's confusing, and it's word stuffing, and it's just, I don't know. I find it distasteful. Pulling away from his leech minders and jumping onto Sweets' back. Sweet spun away. We're going to take out this ass. Spun away. Story pounding on his bucket. Makes it more immediate. You meant flailing, not playing.
I know. I stumbled a few times. Like, what?
Moved in to help him. Moved in to help, but couldn't get close enough to get hands on the alien. Scene would have been hilarious. And Lincoln, I had a problem with Lincoln, Joshua, through the whole book because my mind insisted that it had to be Larkin, and it just wasn't. And I think a grin. I'm gonna let you have the grin, but I think that's a bit of an overstatement. He's probably smiling, not grinning. Sweets finally managed to get. Let's take a hold of. Get one of the guest story's arms to catch. Let's make that catch. And pulled right here. We're going to turn this pronoun into.
Oh, he's trolling you now, Ellen. He did that on purpose.
Oh, okay. Sure he did. The alien landed on his back. The impact cutting off his angry shouts. Instead of shouts, how about tirade?
Yeah, I like that.
Better than shouts, because shouts is just kind of, it's just a
Shouts.
block. It's very generic. It's very blah. And tirade is also generic, but it's generic suggesting that there's more than one thing going on, not just shouts, but you know.
Communicate a little more with that one word.
It sounds prettier.
It does.
Tirade.
Okay, I don't know why he needs to step away. Let's see how many times we have step in this. Remember to add back the one that I just deleted. So 4 in 5 pages. Or were we just... Okay. Here we go. Stop. Sweet lurch forward. Lurch forward. Grabbing the story by the throat. Lurch forward and
around the just shoving him back. Yeah.
Whoops. There we go.
Don't you love when Word autos all of your eyes? Isn't that fun?
No, that was me butterfingering shift and caps lock. What the hell? Stop.
See, no, I just went through this like a couple weeks ago. Every time I wrote an I, even if it was in between a word, Word kept capitalizing it, driving me crazy.
That stings. Okay. Sweet lurch forward, wrapped a meaty hand around the stories. Whoops. Artifact of editing. Throat. Here we go. Can I read that, Kayleen?
Sweets lurched forward and wrapped a meaty hand around the Gastori's throat, shoving him back against the truck. But why did you add an extra comma?
Where?
After Gastori's?
Oh, because I had something else there, because I'm a moron.
Yeah, no, I like that better.
Before that's another artifact of editing.
See, and it also wrapped a meaty hand. Now we're getting some visual on the character without stating he had meaty hands, if that makes sense.
Just added a little description.
Yeah.
Made it more interesting than grab it. See,
sometimes we add words. We don't just delete them all.
Yeah, we give you better words. Alternate words. You better just calm the hell down right now, sweet soul. I can hear Josh saying that. I can actually hear Josh saying that.
He probably has said it many times as a cop.
Pushing his bucket to within mere inches. Okay, you can have it. To within mere inches of the alien space. I could kill you for that. Sweets, Lincoln said, wanting to break the cycle before something really bad happened. The Legionnaire ignored him. His Story's hands clawed at Sweet's gloves, coughing and gasping for air. That's really good, Josh, because you can see that in your head, in your little brain box. You can see that happening. All I have to do is squeeze just a little harder, and you're done. Squeeze. I'm gonna take just out of this. All I have to do is squeeze just a little harder, and you're done. You know that? Okay, you can have it.
I kind of like the just in there.
Yeah, I loved it. I don't want to be on the overforsaken planet any more than you do. Any more is an amount. Any more is a time. Want me to be here, but neither of us have a choice. Okay. The command channel buzzed and Lincoln cringe when Lieutenant Duvall's ID tag appeared. So is it HUD or is it HUD?
It's HUD. But it's an all cap that you say as a word.
Yeah. His gaze darted to the sky above. His gaze darted to the sky above the checkpoint and found the TT-16 circling above. Okay, above, gaze and darting.
I mean, on this one, his gaze darted to the sky. I mean, I guess above the checkpoint.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, this is the same as he looked. His gaze darted is the same as he looked. Okay. So we're gonna take his gaze darting right the hell out of there. Above the checkpoint.
The TT-16.
16 circled.
Yeah.
Nice.
There we go.
And now it's tight.
Out there, better? Yeah.
The command channel buzzed, and Lincoln cringed when Lieutenant Duvall's ID tag appeared on his HUD. Above the checkpoint, the TT-16 circled.
Should we put enter right there?
Put what where?
Enter right after circled.
Oh, for the possession of the dialogue. Should it be on its own, or should it be with that narrative?
What is the question? I'm sorry.
Should we put entered after circled?
Put entered after.
Yeah, so that dialogue line's on its own line.
Oh no!
Gotcha.
Put it on its own line.
Okay, gotcha.
There we go. Or hit the return key.
What's going on down there, Sergeant Lincoln? Spawn Big Brother. Nothing, sir. We have it under control. Under control? Doesn't appear as though you have anything under control, Sergeant. You need to get a hold of your man. And stop him from escalating the situation any more than he already has. I want to see his name on a report by the end of the day. Sir, there's a story. Sergeant, we are the elite, are we not? Okay. I'm going to let him grind his teeth, although as I recall, there was a lot of teeth grinding in this. And we're going to take out that period and we're going to insert a comma. Lincoln ground his teeth before answering, yes, sir. Which is so much better than Lincoln ground his teeth before answering, yes, sir. See the difference?
Yeah.
Oh, no, this is Joshua. We don't do nuance with Joshua. Joshua, leave it like this.
We can always keep teaching him, and one day it'll stick.
That's right, and as such, we will not let our emotions or actions be decided for us by the people we are here to protect. It's a little convoluted, but I kind of like it. We will not let our emotions or actions be decided for us by the people we are here to protect. I like that. Now, order your man to release that driver, or I will have reprimands ready for both of you to sign when you return to base. Okay, angry shouts from the crowd of onlookers drew Lincoln's attention. Okay, there's a better way to introduce that. Let's just delete that. The number of spectators had doubled. Now 20 of them were gathered, pointing and waving fists, with more coming up. With more coming. to join the shouting crowd. How's that?
Yeah.
Yep, got rid of a whole bumbling sentence, and now we're instantly there seeing the spectators, and they're still shouting.
Yeah.
It's going to get bad. Sweet, stand down. Okay, this is kind of pointless and it's confusing. He turned his bucket in Lankin's direction as if searching Lankin's hideout. I would just delete it entirely. That would be my suggestion. Because these whole as if clunky stringing sentences together things are just kind of,
yeah.
I mean, they're not a great way to write. Stop stringing things together with the word as.
Oh my goodness. As he, as if, as they,
as if,
as it, as always. Like, oh my God. Stop it.
Space here. Holding him for another few moments. No moments. Holding him briefly, but now I'm going to drop. Okay, what do we think of that? Sweets didn't immediately release the story, holding him briefly, but finally relenting. Holding him briefly, but finally allowing the alien to drop.
Okay, it may be me. I hate but finallys. I just
but finallys. Yeah, but it's better than as.
I just see them so much alongside as's. Sweets didn't immediately release the guest story, holding him a second longer before allowing the alien to drop to the ground. Corey asks, what if your character is doing a Valley Girl accent? As if. That would be dialogue, Gilliam.
Oh, God.
We're talking about the narrative. That's my Valley Girl. That's the best I can do.
That's pretty good, Keeleen. That was real good. Golf clap.
Sure. Okay, how about this?
Sweets didn't immediately release the guest story, holding the alien another second, then dropping him. I love that there's not a but finally.
Okay.
Way better.
The driver kicked against the ground, pushing himself away. Hand on his throat. We're going to take out grabbing.
I know, I'm staring at it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're just going to wait. We're going to kill that.
Be gone with you.
About that.
Yes. Because air is going in because he's coughing and gasping. So.
Okay.
We got gasping twice in the next line.
Yeah, that's okay.
Paid no attention to the indig. Boom.
Yeah.
We already see him flailing around, so. That's all a lot.
Cutting torch is an implement in
Yeah.
Galaxy's Edge universe.
The alien muttered a string of raspy local curses. The alien muttered a string. The alien rasp.
Yeah.
Local curses, but didn't re-engage. Let's get rid of that instead. But didn't re-engage. He backed even further away from the Legionnaire, eyes filled with hatred and rage. See, re-engage, hatred, and rage.
Here's another question that comes up a lot. Further versus farther. How do you tell them apart?
One is metaphorical and one of them is distance.
Yeah. Yeah, farther with an A is like distance with an A. And the other one's metaphorical.
So yeah, that would be he backed farther away. Because you can see the distance of which he is moving.
It's an actual distance.
Yeah.
Actual distance. Yeah, there we go. We got the A's. Farther, actual distance.
And we'll get rid of the rage because it rhymes with re-engage. Okay, a second later, Sweets had the torch lit and was where he's not stepping. Sweets had the torch lit. And
he's already at the hatch. Why does he keep stepping back to it?
reaching. And
A second later, Sweets had the torch lit.
Yeah,
For the hatch?
right there.
That's fine, yeah.
Because he's already there. We know what he's going to be doing. So just he had it lit.
Continued to back away from his truck. I mean, okay. He was just doing that. We don't expect him to be doing something else already. So that can go away. Through his optical scope, as opposed to what other kind of scope? Through his scope. Lincoln.
Saw what he interpreted as cold.
Lincoln saw what he interpreted as cold determination. I think I'm going to let you keep that.
Every now and then, there is that one where you're like, yeah.
Yeah, you can have it. Something about the driver's demeanor had changed. Got that there. Let's put that back. Something that made the hair on the back of Lincoln's neck stand up. Okay, I'm gonna let you keep that. It's a little wordy, but it's good. Through his scope, he saw what he interpreted as cold determination on the alien's face. Something about the driver's demeanor had changed. Something that made the hair on the back of Lincoln's neck stand up.
Yeah, that's one of those double words that, like, because a lot of time I know you hear us say, "Oh, you've said that before. It was just in the other paragraph." This is like a purposeful thing that works.
Okay, I have no idea what are we talking about? What was that?
Oh, something about the driver's demeanor had changed. Something that made so it's like it's a double use of a word that's done on purpose.
You're making a point. You're pounding the point home.
Yep.
Whether he got the same sensation or had his own reasons, Lieutenant Duval likewise didn't like what he saw. Okay, it's a little wordy, but I'm going to let you have it because it's saying something and it's making itself clear. Hello, Dexter. Sergeant, have the corporal stand down. We aren't going to be destroying any property today. The only thing wrong here is I would do that. That's 2 sentences, not one. Lincoln kept his sights on like a story as he continued to move away. I mean, really.
It's another one of those.
Continuing to move away still. Can we just stop talking about it?
We already know he's looking at him.
Okay, stand by, sir. Lincoln changed comm channels with a flick of his tongue. Sweets, eyes up. Your driver is Lieutenant Duvall cut him off, breaking into the squad comm. Sergeant Lincoln, my orders are to stand down. We are not destroying any property.
So yeah, that was when I
now
said.
Here's Lincoln saying, but see, it can't be Lincoln saying, and he's still following the story with his optics. Okay, we're gonna cap that off. We're gonna hit this right here. The alien ducked between two vehicles. Okay, if he's between the two vehicles, you can't tell that he's looking over his shoulder at the Legionnaires behind him. But you can't see him.
Yeah, that would be like a POV shift where suddenly we're in the aliens POV.
Okay,
Not so much.
Which men? Both men broke off from the rest of the team. Both men who? Because there's only Sweets is down there. Because
yeah, earlier
Lincoln is up in the hills with his sniper rifle, and the lieutenant is up in the sky.
It was the
Joshi, yeah,
the ones that were standing. He mentioned them, weren't they mentioned?
The two that were on either side of him?
Yeah, those guys. I think their names were mentioned earlier.
Soretti? It's farther down.
Is that his name? Soretti?
Yeah, one of them's Soretti. And then where's the other one?
With an S and an A. Okay.
Saretti.
No, that's the captain.
Sweets and Soretti broke off from. Take out the rest of. Broke off from team. 2 T's. Each taking one side of the road. Okay, we're going to take. Okay, jogging down. On vehicles.
Corse and Soretti. Those are the other two, other than Sweets.
Soretti on the near side, kept his M4 close to his chest. Barrel pointing at the ground. Bucket turning back and forth, searching. Okay. I don't see him, Sarge, Soretti said. He's 2 vehicles up on your left. Okay. Okay, he just did this. So we've got him crouching and vanishing again. Okay, so
the story appeared a moment later.
The story reappeared. Still watching the approaching Legionnaires. Okay, no. Word.
Yeah, I like that. The Gastori reappeared behind a knot of angry drivers.
Ooh, that's nice.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. He's definitely worried about something. In his scope, Lincoln watched as, we don't care what he's watching. He's not telling us what he's watching. Story broke into a jog. We just did all this. Broke into a jog.
He broke into a jog. Every few steps, he checked over his shoulder.
Yeah.
Well, if he's obviously watching.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
You can't take away all Joshy's words. He gets really mad if you take away all his words. His hands disappeared inside his loose tunic, and of course that's okay, well, but never mind. I was just going to say that's not the first thing that I would think of, but it kind of is, so.
Oh no, he's pulling out a cell phone.
Yeah. Except for, never mind. He keyed his rifle. Blocking the aliens. Into the optics link with his HUD. blood pounded.
They're beautiful words. They are beautiful words, Josh.
We love you, sweetie. Blood pounded in his ears. Okay, comma. Let's get rid of this as. Let's get rid of that comma.
Make a new sentence. Or that.
Okay, blood pounded in his ears. He might actually have to take the shot. 207 meters. Child's play. Still, this wasn't a computerized target on the range. This was an actual flesh and blood being. He's ducking again? Really? I mean, really? Come on.
Duck and weave.
Duck, weave, and grab.
This story stopped. To a flatbed transport. Taking air and kicking up. No small bits of. Kicking up dust. Small bits of dust. I mean,
dust is small.
Yeah.
Or gravel.
So you got small bits and dust. So he took a knee. He stopped. He took a knee and pulled something. Gleaming in the sunlight. Just a lot of unnecessary word salad there, Joshua. Lincoln's heart skipped a beat.
I like that. Word salad.
He was already moving. I don't know which he was already moving, so that's gone. Boom. Okay.
I think it's the guest story. Stepping from behind the tread, the guest story slid.
This guest story. Story raised his hands. Raised
his arms.
Arm. An old-fashioned slug thrower in his green, scaly, scaled fingers. Scaly fingers. Like he did. Okay. All right, Joshua. We murdered you a little bit.
All right. How bad? How bad is it?
151.
151, Josh. But that was like taking out a lot of just filtering bits, a lot of repetition on movement. And it flows a lot tighter without reminding us of a thing that we already know that doesn't add to anything else.
Right, so we're going to save that one. And I don't know where we are.
Okay, so we are definitely over. But I know we have a few viewers out there that desperately want some bloopers. So if either of you have time, maybe we could push through on, let's just make it around hour and a half long show, since we were a few minutes late coming in.
Making it up to you.
And we could spend the next 7 minutes doing bloopers. What do you guys, if y'all are up for it?
7 minutes is good, and then I gotta go make some meatloaf. For Nana. Gotta make Nana some meatloaf.
Oh, Joshy, you used the right there. I'm so proud of you.
Yay!
Yay, Joshy.
I hope he gets the golf clap of the day.
Bless your heart. Okay. So are you reading them, Kayleen?
Yeah. Okay. So number one on the list, I'm just going to go down them.
Wait, before you start, some of these you probably already heard. I decided instead of cherry picking, and we just go from top to bottom, but we are not going to read all of them. There will always be more.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so
here we go. Number one. The silence in the room was eerily thick, as if they were all standing in pudding, waiting to be eaten.
What?
And these are legitimately real. I pulled these out of stuff I was working on.
The silence is pudding?
The silence is pudding. It's thick like pudding that wants to eat them.
I like pudding. Chocolate pudding is yummy.
Maybe that's what they're thinking of. Dark chocolate pudding, just coating the walls, creating silence. Okay. Sorry. Number 2. When they parked at, how the hell? Granite Oak. Okay. When they parked at Granite Oak Cottage, a shiver tore between her shoulder blades. Noontime's blazing halo overhead did little to warm the iceberg floating in Jane's lungs.
So we've got a burning sensation, but also an iceberg floating.
Well, and a halo.
And a halo.
That was kind of a situation.
So maybe this is a case where less is more might be helpful.
Yeah.
For sure.
Number 3. He finished licking his fingers clean by wiping them on his jeans.
Wait, what?
I guess his jeans are licking his fingers clean. I don't know.
Hungry jeans.
Hungry jeans. They need some pudding. They need some silence pudding.
Pudding of silence.
Number 4.
Pudding of doom.
Oh, I love this one. This one's a repeat, but it's a glorious repeat. Fat and sticky tears rolled down her face like pineapple chunks as she greeted each of the family members.
That's one of my all-time favorites. I gotta say.
That one's great.
Everyone loves pineapple chunks.
Oh yes, especially when they're hot, sticky down your cheeks. All right. The rage on John's face eased with a slight smile to Bill's laughter at the thought of the reaction of their hot-headed, larger-than-life, and now just departed chief of security. I actually said it all in one breath. I am super proud of myself.
Congratulations.
Wow.
You done good.
So that one is just wordier than all get out. There's so much going on.
Yeah.
All right, number 6. The holographic storyboard showed the Matchstick Men graphically enacting all of these events. So this one, yeah, I can see that one. Right. His raised eyebrows confirmed he was up for the challenge. Sentient eyebrows! All right, let's see. I'm just going down the list. Tell me when to stop.
You're on number 8. Keep going.
We have 10 minutes. She sheepishly batted her lids as his kiss sent tingles throughout her body.
What?
Yeah.
Yep. She sheepishly batted her lids as his kiss sent tingles throughout her body.
Why don't we call it at 10? Because this room is an oven with the door shut. I'm dying here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, so number 9. The steel glinted on the golden edge. But steel is not gold.
Yeah.
And number 10. He wrapped her in an embrace, and she tightened like an archer's bow before the arrow's release. The tension between them palpable.
That's 2 sentences too, by the way.
Yeah.
Period. Release. Period. The tension between them palpable. Period.
Yeah. But anyway.
That one's for you, Ken.
The pudding one for this one, other than pineapple chunks, that's my new favorite. That's among my new favorites now.
I think we're just all hungry. I
am hungry.
This is wonderful.
All right, everyone out there in the live chat, thank you so much for hanging out a little bit longer with us as we dissect, especially Aaron, rip apart them words, put them back together, make them shiny, make them stronger. That's what it's all about. That's all that we want, to make your words the best that they could possibly be. And don't forget to continue sending in your 500 words. Your 500 word submissions to the email Ellen. What is it?
At ellencampbelledits.com.
ellencampbelledits.com. Please send in your 500 word submissions because we're going to continue cutting. We're going to continue the live shredding of the stuff because there is nothing better than getting actual hands-on understanding of all the things that we keep saying so that you can apply that to your own words and give us even stronger words to make even shinier than before. And with that, for Lauren Moore and Ellen Campbell, I am Kayleen Williams. Be sure to check us out next week where we're going to be talking about more reading, writing, and everything in between right here on Keystroke Mediums, The Writer's Journey. Peace out, you guys.